let it be a secret. Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful, maybe even counterintuitive idea, but one that's actually backed by some serious science. So, let me start with a question that, might hit a little close to home. What if the reason things don't work out is because you tell everyone about them way too early? It's a fascinating thought, right? And it might just explain a lot about how our brains are wired. You know the feeling, right? You get this amazing idea, or you set a new goal, you're ready for a fresh start. And what's the very first thing we do? We have to share it. We post about it, we text our friends, we announce it to the world. And man, in that moment, it feels so good. It feels like we're already halfway there. I mean, think about it. You decide, okay, this is it, I'm gonna get fit, and you tell everyone. Or you're finally starting that creative project you've been dreaming about. Maybe you're making a huge career change or learning Spanish. You announce it, the excitement is totally real, but then what happens? A few weeks later, all that energy is just gone. The whole plan just kind of fizzles out. Does that sound familiar at all? So, this gets us to the really big idea here. What if talking about the plan is the very thing that stops it from ever happening? That initial burst of validation you get from sharing, well, it's kind of like a trap. It feels good, but those words might actually be replacing the hard work that needs to follow. There's this quote from Derek Sivers that it absolutely nails it. He says, announcing your plans to others satisfies your self-identity just enough that you're less motivated to do the hard work needed. Think about that. When you tell people your plan, they go, wow, that's so cool. And your brain gets this little hit of reward, like you've already done something. It tricks you into feeling good, and suddenly the actual hard work feels a little less urgent, doesn't it? And look, this isn't some new agey pop psychology fad. The science on this goes way, way back. As early as 1933, psychologists were noticing that getting that public pat on the back creates a kind of social reality in our brains. Then, in 1982, Peter Gollwitzer fleshed this out with his theory of symbolic self-completion. And even as recently as 2009, new tests confirmed it all over again. Keeping your intentions to yourself leads to a much higher chance of actually achieving them. The evidence is pretty overwhelming. So what is this symbolic self-completion thing anyway? Well, it's basically a glitch in our psychology. It's when your brain mistakes the act of talking about your goal for actual progress toward that goal. That social recognition, all those good for yous, tricks your mind. It feels like you've already become that person you're trying to be. To put it super simply, your brain mistakes talking for doing. It's a little short circuit in our wiring. It can't really tell the difference between the good feeling of saying you'll do something and the good feeling of actually having done it. And what this does is it gives you a premature sense of completeness. You get that little dopamine hit, the reward chemical, without actually doing any of the work. And what happens then? It completely drains your motivation to get started. Okay, so if talking about our goals is the problem, what's the solution? Well, it all comes down to a different strategy, protecting your focus. And it really starts with a simple but powerful shift in your thinking. Stop asking, who should I tell about this? And instead start asking, have I actually started yet? See the difference? Your focus moves from finding an audience to taking action. So, this reframes the whole idea of silence. It's not about being secretive, it's about being protective. A new goal, a new idea, it's fragile. It's like a tiny flame. It needs your focused energy, not a bunch of outside opinions and doubts trying to blow it out. Every time you explain your plan, you're using up mental energy that's better spent on doing the plan. Silence creates a shield against all that noise. And that brings us to a really powerful principle. It's all about letting your results do the talking. Action over announcement. I absolutely love this idea because it just cuts through all the noise and all the excuses. It's not about talent, it's not about luck, it's just about consistency. It's about that quiet, sometimes unglamorous work of just showing up day in and day out. Progress doesn't need an audience. It doesn't. It needs quiet, consistent work. True progress happens behind the scenes, not out on the main stage. It doesn't need applause while it's being built. It just needs you to keep going, especially when nobody's watching. All right, so how do we actually turn this idea into a real habit? Let's break down a few practical steps you can take to start building this muscle of quiet achievement. Okay, here's the game plan. Number 1, delay sharing. Just wait. Resist that initial urge. Number 2, take action first. Do one small thing, anything, to make the goal real before you even think about talking about it. 3, if you absolutely have to share, be super selective about who you tell. And finally, number 4, track your progress privately. Keep a journal, use an app, whatever, but do it for you, not for an audience.
Now, you might be thinking, but wait, what about accountability? Don't I need to tell people to stay on track? Well, research actually points to a much more effective tool. It's called an implementation intention. This isn't just saying what you're going to do, it's creating a very specific if-then plan that basically pre-programs the decision right into your brain. So here's what that looks like in practice. A normal goal sounds like this. I'm going to write a book. It's kind of vague, right? It's more of a wish. An implementation intention is a command. It sounds like this. If it is 6 a.m., then I will write for 1 hour at my kitchen table. See how much more powerful that is? You've removed the guesswork. The situation itself becomes the trigger for the action.
And that right there is the key. The real magic happens when you shift your focus from declaring your goal to the world to implementing a detailed plan for yourself. That is the engine that actually turns a vague idea into a reality. This really gets to a core mindset shift. You have to understand this. Not everything needs validation from other people. Some of the best ideas, the most important work, it grows better in silence. You don't need anyone else's permission or approval to begin. Your own commitment to yourself, that's more than enough. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's simple. Work quietly, stay consistent, let your results speak way louder than your words ever could. Because in the end, what you build will make a much bigger impact than what you announced. So, I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Try it. The next time you get a big, exciting idea, hold it close, protect it, work on it in silence, and just see what happens. Because sometimes the less you say, the more you achieve.